Okay, kids, it's Uncle Mike. Um, it's Sunday, and I'm here with Santa Claus. He's got more things to share with you. Starting, again with the hands and the fingers. We talked a little about that and you know what they mean and mind, body, and spirit, maybe heart or spirit. So anyway, you got those, and then what is this? Like we already mentioned it. That's sphincter power. It's a sphincter. It's it's a valve. It's a it's a valve you can like open and close, right? Right? And then these three, because these two, mean something different. But you know, anyway. So I talk about like send your spirit out. That one. And I joke about it, and like I see kids do it, and it's not really something to joke about so much, And you'll understand that more later on, okay? Just know which one is which, okay? Like this is your body, right? And this is your mind, and this is your spirit, okay? And this one is a finger of God, And then you still got thumb, which I'll explain later on. But, with these four, it's like you could end up that way, if you forget, mind and body, separate. Keep them together too long, guess what? And same with spirit and God, like got separate, separate them out. So you have some, you know, ability to, basically it's called dexterity, right? Anyway, remember, keep it tight. You can practice it too. Not tight, okay, yeah. Like, it's a muscle. It's important, like, use your mind. Just think about it a little bit. Anyway, Santa Claus, he's got all kinds of surprises for you. So we know what Santa do. He drive a truck, right? Drive the truck around in the stars, um, picking things up, moving them around, and like he can write the contracts and stuff, and he's all approved, right? So anyway, we were talking about like when you first meet the sun, because that's why he come around here at all to our solar system. The very first time, was start coming around because he noticed the sun, and he stayed far out, real far, so he's not disturb her, and he's checking her out, and he like, he got to try to communicate, so he puts up some reflectors, flash some of her own light back at her, hey, hello, wait for response, you know, just to be sure. So then eventually start to respond, you know, just so it's all okay and nobody is invading your territory, miss. Um, just out on the outer perimeter, and you mind if I survey what you got? Just to survey it, add up the mass. And she was like, a little concerned. And I don't know who you are, sir, and I'd rather you didn't. And so, Santa, he's like, okay, ma'am, okay, no problem. But I'll be flying around, and maybe you need some help with some of it sometime. She said, okay, thank you, goodbye. Santa, he respect that, and on his way, to go deliver other things around all over the place. So that's what he's doing. Just moving things around from here and over to there, and then from there back to here, and you know, truck driver, sanitation worker, Santa. Yeah, so anyway, he's always like checking on the son because he noticed she had like a lot of potential, like, So eventually he stopped by again, and he's like, so what do you think? She said, I can't remember. I'm just not sure about anything. He said, hey, I know it could be confusing. Just waking up and everything. And she's like, yeah, it's like everything in front of me is just a mess, it's just chaos whirling around. So yeah, I know. She's like, it's scary, feels like it just gonna collapse in on me. He said, well, no, not really, because eventually, you'll expand out and envelop it, you know. She said, what? Santa said, yeah, you are a star. That's what will happen. You got a lot of time, but she said, oh, okay. Well, why? Santa was like, I don't know. Why? Well, I never thought about it too much. But I'll tell you this, you want any help, moving around your pieces? Or maybe, like you have some you want to exchange? You think, okay, I don't need that, I can help. She says, well, uh, exchange with who? I feel like it's just me, it's alone. You're the only voice I ever heard. And so Santa's like, oh no, you got like a lot of neighbors around, but they look to you like blackness because you are so bright, and they're pretty far away, far enough to give you, your own turf. So she's like, oh, I see. Well, let me think about it some more, He said, okay, you know, Santa. So he take off again, making his runs, Because, like, at this time, Santa's got a lot of projects going on, A lot of different stars, you know, picking stuff up, take it over here. So from now on, he's go over there. Just making arrangements and stuff, you know. Handling it, Like, a lot of times Star has something, She tell right off the bat, I don't think I like that. Get it out of here right away. Well, sometimes, after some processes happen, then there is extra. And like, okay, now go ahead and get that out of here because I already did extraction on it. And, so Santa, he handles those types of things, for the solar systems. You know. So, like I said, man, Santa Claus is pretty good at what he does. He like takes care of each one of the stars that he works with. Best of his ability. Like I said, always come back, Santi. From the star and anything else around. More often than not. So, Santa Claus has been doing for a while. So, like, you wouldn't say, like, yeah, he's seen it all. But let me tell you, Santa Claus, he's seen a lot. You know, well, he could tell you some stories about worlds that might make your head pop right off his shoulders, like, oh, no way. Sounds so cool. It's like, yeah, I guess it is, from a certain perspective. But we can talk about some of those later on. Right now, we're talking about Santa and the sun, So, Santa, he's like visiting her sometimes, but never coming in. Only just outside, like, checking in, You getting things figured out, or, you want to chat or anything? And, she's like, she keeps to herself longer than, some stars do. Some of them are out right away, like, oh, okay, this is what I got here, and, oh, perfect, you're right on time, dude, whoever you are, yeah, come on, come get these, and, but this one, maybe shy, I don't know, but I think she's smart, I think she's thinking a lot before make first moves. Yeah, so anyway, Santa Claus, he come by again one day, said, hey, ma'am, how about the survey? I just size it up, from outside perimeter, it won't hurt. I promise. She said, well, what are you going to do? He said, just bounce some of your light back on you and take some measurements from that, so I can sum up your relative mass, like in its entirety. She said, oh, okay, yeah. By the way, what's your name? And, he's like, I'm Nick, She said, okay, Nick, I trust you that far. She said, okay, ma'am. Nick, he take a survey, It's like, yeah, cool. This way, he knows mass. So that way, in case he needs to get in closer to it, I can use his math, right? Anyway, so you get the idea, right? Solar system's like really old, it's like it's just rocks and stuff floating around. Not really any planets yet, But already you got Santa and Sun, Santa, the star that you call the sun. Yeah. So, Santa, he calculate, you know, all the maths and plot his approach, because he's going to dive in, take a loop around the center, and back. It's tricky at that point because a lot more objects, Gotta find just the right course, But to get in close enough to really talk to the star. But he does, he does it. He gets in there. And, you know, so then, maybe, the star, yeah, that's her name. She gets a little excited, She's like, okay. She's like, first time for this. Been here a while, and it's just me, and, I guess that's me out floating around me, or pieces of me, or like pieces of you just floating around outside of you, you know? But this is kind of exciting because this is something new. I want to dive in and don't really know what's going to happen. I think I trust him, he got his name, he's Nick, and he called me Maybelle, Maybelle, and she's like, yeah, how'd you know that? And Nick was like, you just told me. She said, no, I didn't. He said, yeah, and they weren't really sure who said it first, but like, it came from somewhere, and, just like that, it's a story of Maybelle and Nick. So, it's a good story, it really is. I think you might like it. It's mostly for kids. But you can listen to anybody can listen. I try, Uncle Mike, he might make some funny gestures, talk about funny things, but that's just how Santa Claus is, man. He's just kind of silly like that, and it's supposed to be for laugh, It's like not meant to offend. You get offended, you just turn it off. Okay? Anyway, that's it. We see you tomorrow.